Good morning, everyone. Welcome along. Welcome to Steel Horse Station. I hope everyone is having a fine beginning to the week. I am. It is Tuesday morning here in Oz. So wherever you might be joining us from around the world, it's very good to have you along. Thanks for coming in. We are heading across to Newlands today. And we might jump straight across and jump right in. Now, let's see. We're in the middle of May and we've just about got all our chores done, I think. The one thing we need to take care of, I've been trying to get the pigs back to health. So if we have a look at the pigs in the extension yard, you can see, if you do the math, we're fully stocked there, but also we are at 100% health. So any that are of selling age, we want to get across to the meatworks. And so that pretty much means that lot. So let's come across here. What are they? 19 months. And there is only... I might as well take you. There are only 2 of those. $11 months. We can take all of those. What have we got in here? 7 months, 3 months, 10 months, 10 months. We'll select those. That's all we can take for now. So if we get you down the hill, can fire you across to the animal drop. Have turned this into a 2-way road, so I'm hoping that's going to work. Now we've got the corn in and we need to roll it if we can. The last thing I was doing here was just putting some grass in this field, which it looks like pretty much up to headlands. So let's get that. Knocked out. If we can. That way we've at least just got a grass pasture as we go into harvest season. So we'll have something for the sheep to munch on. To miss too many spots in the fields. I did use auto drive course play to do the first part. Let's just 2 more laps will knock this out quite nicely with any luck. And by then, our animal trailer should be across at the meatworks. Yeah, one more headland after this one by the looks. Welcome along. If someone's just popped in, great to have you with us. Still dark o'clock here in Oz, although I'm quite pleased we're past the solstice, so every day is getting a little bit longer now. There we go. Our driver is at the meatworks. We'll duck over there as soon as we're done on the next lap. Should have enough grass seed to get round. We need the meat from the meatworks to just top up the cash a little so that when we roll over the month we will have a little bit of cash to get some equipment to work in the olive grove. It shouldn't be too expensive. Looks like we've got a little strip at the end there. Bump that log out of the way. No would be the answer. Let's try and get a little bit there. Just a little bit I missed up here. There we go. Let's clear that out of the way. That, I think, Oops, let's try and get that bit just there. Right, I think that will be a grass field. Quickly and easily done. Let's just run down the side. Well, we know this side's pretty good, so we fixed it all before. Pop you up. And we know there's no point in rolling this, but it would be worthwhile rolling the cornfield, so we might take care of that. Seeder back in its spot. Now let's jump across. Get you sorted. I can pop you into the production. Let's try getting all of them. And then while we've got the trailer over here in the fattening yard, what is the state of play? There is a bunch in there that are healthy. There's a bunch in there that aren't old enough, and there's a bunch in there that'll be right next month. So let's move 20. Uh, 11 months. Yes. Those are they. Probably going to need a smaller tractor to work the olives. We really haven't got anything that's set up to work between the vines, so we might have to search for one of those. Oops. You're going to be in. It's not quite got that trigger. Got it that time. There we go. So we got plenty of stuff in the production. Let's have a look at what's happening in the production. So 1, 2. 2 are both running. There's a lamb running. That's it. Okay. So we can send you, oops, back to the main pigsty. Will do. Let's go get this roller sorted. You've got your basket on backwards. What's happening over here in the tree department? All the trees are fairly good shape. Lettuce. Okay, so I've got a little bit of produce, but nothing that we need to be worried about. That's the one we want. And the roller. Which, that is the roller, isn't it? Yes, it is. Can be a little tricky to tell from a distance. Let's pull you out this way because it's going to be very difficult to drive. Come on. I want you to swing around there without driving on the crop. There you go. Yeah. And I want you to fold down. And let's attach on that way. Welcome along, whoever's popped in. Great to see you there. Hope you're having a wonderful day. Just we're gonna roll the corn which we planted last time before we roll forward into the next day. Just make sure we've done all of the chores before we head for June. Now, from memory, this thing will let me put all of the rollers down at once, and then off we can go. Bit of a slower pace to the day. And the thing we need to do at some point is close the bunker silo that we're making the grass silage in, so that we've got that to feed the cows. I haven't checked the cow feed. Probably should do that in a minute. Bumped up. The yield benefit from rolling's hardly worth it going back to get that extra little bit. This should give us a good size cornfield. Actually be interesting to see how close we get to being able to manage pig food for a year. That's certainly been our challenge. We'll be able to run the grain mill, running grain grist as well, so that will be a big help, I think. Got a few trees to tidy up when we get a moment. Could be on the agenda for today, we'll see. Stays quiet, it might be a perfect opportunity. Okay, so let's just stop you there for a sec. Jump up to the... Excuse me. Early morning sneeze. Now, what did we decide? Oops. In the animals, in the extension yard, there are more to go across, right? So we want to do those. And what's happening in the cow barn? Cow barn's got a little bit of food for the minute. Okay. Let's just fill up a load here. We got here 7 months. That'll be perfect. Move you across. Take you down the hill, because otherwise you'll drive straight off the cliff. And send you across to there. And around we go. just run that. It's the longest, that's probably about the longest run on this field, isn't it? Might just come back and work from this end. Maybe the simplest. Room turn, yeah. That'll work. Enough room to keep it moving. That's all we need. And it's a piece of equipment that's wide enough to eat up the field. Albeit wanting the field to be a little flatter than we've actually managed. Could do with an articulated joint in the middle of the implement. But we're not going to have to look at the patchwork for too long, because as soon as we roll a month, the crop's going to strike, so that will be fine. There's a few bumps there. All of a sudden, is that roller up? No, it's not. Just pretending. Just pretending. Welcome along if someone's popped in. Good to see you. It is a bit of a quiet day today, which is fine. Everybody's up to their own things. I'm sure those in the Northern Hemisphere are getting sorted for their summer. So there's all, and with nice days and more daylight, there's 100 reasons to be doing something other than sitting inside watching farm sims, so that makes sense. And in parts of the east coast of Oz, it's pretty darn cold this morning, from what I understand, depending on where you might be. Let's just leave the rolling there for a sec and go and unload the pigs at the abattoir. There we go. Beautiful. Put them in there. And then send you back to get another load. And go back to our rolling. This field's the only one we've got to... What's happened? Why have you get hung up and you take a long time to come down? This field's the only field work we've got left to do before we roll into June. Okay, that was bizarre. My little emoji button emitted a whole bunch of smiley emojis. Got no idea how that happened, but never seen it before. There's nothing in chat, so welcome along. Someone's just joined, possibly. Great to have you in. Thank you for stopping by. Pod 1! It's the Canadian contingent. Great to have you along, Hodge 1. I hope you are having a wonderful beginning to your week. Oh, that's you sending those little thingies of emojis. I have no idea how you do that. But thank you. Great to have you in. It's a bit of a quiet morning this morning. Everybody has fun stuff happening. And we're having fun here. Just getting the field rolled. I'm a big fan of the nap. I am known to nap fairly frequently. Have done all my life. Does it feel like summer's underway in your neck of the woods? And do you have any holidays or summer season plans in train? Excellent. Yeah. Okay, we'll go and load up some more pigs in a second. We're about halfway through this field. There he is, right on time. Ah. Growing up. Now let's just... You got to enjoy those times, Hodge One. The years end up accelerating. It's very easy to be busy. Although we live it a little bit vicariously again for the second time, because our daughter is a primary school teacher. She's got a grade 2 class, year 2 or whatever they call them these days. And so that's a bit of fun. Every now and again, her students do some entertaining things, make everybody smile. 2 months, 6 months, what's that? 3 months, 2 months, 6 months. Let's select you. And select you. 38 left in there. Okay. So that's where we want you to go. Perfect. And you can run forward to the... Let's just back you up a little bit. Now that it's come down, that's better. Looks much better. So with any luck, once we get this field rolled, we've got all of the pigs that needed to move across to the meatworks, and they're processing. So we can jump ahead to next month, which will then give us some... I don't think we've got any other produce that needs to be sold this month. We might check that just before we roll forward. There we go. Good turn. Pray tell, 4 seasons in one day, was it? Summer storms rolling through. It's just been plain cold and miserable for us. It's a bit colder by Melbourne standards, you know. Probably just a balmy spring day for you, but maximums of 11 are pretty chilly in Melbourne, and like generally accompanied with a bit of a breeze and some wind chill, so it can feel a bit colder. Don't know what it is about that right hand roller, it just doesn't like the turn. He's going up again. Why is that not on the ground? Which one is it? How bizarre. Yeah, they're all off the ground. Oh, wow. That sounds impressive. What is this thing doing? Let's try that one. Why are the rollers? They're not down. That doesn't give me any help. What is going on with this set of rollers? All of a sudden, it's just misbehaving. That looks better. Goodness me. No idea what. It's almost like, well, it's because there's 4 components. There's the actual frame, and then there's the 3 rollers. And even though it looked like, well, you can see I got half the field done, it was like it suddenly decided the right hand one didn't want to roll anymore. Very odd. Forest fire. Ugh. Yes, when I know what that feels like. When we had our really bad fires a few years ago here. The farm is looking good. We had weather blow through that was from the fire, even though the fires were hundreds of kilometers away. The smoke sort of sat in the Melbourne Basin for a couple of months, which was really quite odd. You know, it's getting serious when you can get up in the Melbourne in the morning in a big city and smell the forest fires. Yeah, it was certainly it felt like the whole of the East Coast was on fire. It was the worst fire season I can remember. But from what I understand, Canada's having a pretty nasty run of it. There's a few crews from Australia and New Zealand over there helping your guys out, I think, returning the favour of past years. Let's get this guy on the right angle. And the right hand side of it, the desert in the middle doesn't have much to burn, but the lush green east coast was definitely on fire, and the parts of the west coast that were able to burn were struggling as well. So they were big areas. I think it's good the way that global community jumps in and helps out, and that we've, you know, in this day and age got the means to be able to do that. It's a good thing. Particularly like that really expensive firefighting equipment, that means that can be shared across different seasons around the world. Okay, we're coming up this. Go empty our pigs. And then we'll just have a couple more runs to do. Oh, we were going to have a look at, did we have other produce that was for selling right at the minute? Looks like we've had someone else join. Welcome along. Great to have you in. Don't know if you're aware, Hodron, we have an olive grove now. We've just planted a few rows of olive trees. So, hey, Jason. Welcome in. I'm guessing it's a fairly crisp morning up there in your part of the world. It might even be cool enough to rate on the cold scale for Hodge 1. Maybe not cold, but certainly cool. It's probably minus a few degrees. Yeah, fighting forest fires is not fun. Not something that you necessarily do by choice. my official regional cold meter, Jason, is when the glass of water on the nightstand freezes. That's when I know it was cold. Okay, let's just... Yeah, well, we're going to check produce just to see what we've got in the produce ranks. Whoops, that's not where I want to be. I want to be there. Sugar bean cart, water, milk. I sold the milk. Oh, we do have a bunch of sugar, and the sugar price isn't too bad. What's the curve look like for sugar? Where is it? Down there. Oh no, it's a very regular curve on this map, so we might be worth waiting a month or two, because we do have quite a bit of sugar there. What's a smudge pot? Odd one? That's not a term I've heard before. Well, there you go. Now, how many of those are there? There's 2 of those. And 14 of those. Oh yes, I'm good at making smoky fires. Sometimes not deliberately. These days, in most of the parts of Australia that we were talking about before, from it varies a little bit, but depending on the seasons, but from November-ish, October-ish through till about April, certainly down here in the south, you can't have fires for the most part. There are some exceptions, but fires and our bushlands just don't get along. Main pig side. Right, jump out of there. This snow on the ground here is hysterical. Whoops. If you have it present after the actual game snow melts, it stays until the next time it snows. did it again. Right, there we go. So I'm taking it that smoke in the air is less annoying than the insects, which is why people do it. Ah, okay. Oh, missed that turn. That wasn't very clever. Never mind. I suppose it's a bit hard to relax if the horses are skittish. I don't know if you guys know anything. I heard on a stream the other day, I just caught it in passing, a comment to the effect that one of the recent patches had changed how horses work to make them a bit more useful and interesting. I don't tend to run them properly anywhere. I tried them, but I found them a bit unrewarding in game. I don't know if you guys have any knowledge of that. I haven't seen anything written, but then Giant's patch notes are reliably skinny. I mean, why would your patrons want to know what you've changed in the game? Right, so we're coming to the end of this field. Yeah, well, I'm a bit the same, Jason. I mean, I've got some in a stable on the Silver and Forest series, but that was more just to try out that riding school mod. But well, it's not a riding school mod, but it just fitted the storyline to have a riding school. And but I haven't actually done anything with them, so I will poke around just to see if there's any way they're operating. The main thing about the mod that I use on there is it just gives you a fee from adjusting the horses, basically, and you don't have to look after them. Yes, exactly. Oh, I'm being told by my four-legged friend that he needs to go outside. G'day, Jason. Just enjoy yourselves for just a sec. I'll be right back. Right. He is outside doing his morning garden inspection. And we have Jason squared in the house. 2 Jasons. Good to see. After a slow start, it's positively jumping in here. Oh, that was a bit brisk opening the door. That would tend to suggest the heater has kicked in. Now, a couple more runs up here. And now, that's really weird. So why all of a sudden I turn to the right and now the left hand roller now we go back through this weird sequence. There's definitely something wrong with this mod. It's upset about something. Something complicated going on. Oh, I think a furball wants to return inside. Just hang on a tick. Morning. Right. He did and he has. With any luck, 2 more lengths here or to fix this. 2, maybe 3. And then I reckon we're going to be ready to go into June when we might have some crops to harvest. Over there, I think the barley might be ready. And we'll certainly have some work to do in the olive groves, so I would expect they may need some attention. We'll have to have a look. Feeling a bit peckish this morning. Oh, it's a That is really weird. I have no idea what's causing that to happen every now and again. There's no button press happening at this end. Something odd going on. Welcome along. Someone else has popped in. Great to see you. We've got a couple of Jasons and Hodge one lurking there, doing their things. I suspect our pair of Jasons are getting ready for work. Or are working, depending on their day. Ah, coffee is happening. Now that's a good activity. I've already finished mine, but I was thinking that another one would be wonderful. Yeah. It will have to wait. Oh, left a dot. Never mind. Yeah, I think we've done all the chores that we needed to do before we roll forward, so well, this stripe up here. That's the cornfield all happy. Almost done. I think I can. I noticed as I started the game today there was a very flat Texas map. A flat checkerboard Texas map on ModHub. I don't know anything about it, but if that's your cup of tea, that is there now. You are up. Even though I've raised you, why are you still... Very confused. Most odd. Okay. And what we do as we run you in there like so. And right, beautiful. And then we can run around. And fold you up. Like so. Pull you across out of the way. Works like a ball one. Beautiful. So that's all good. Tuck you over here out of the way. I'm not gonna worry about flattening that pile at the present. So let's run up the hill and roll forward into June. Excellent. Yep. Things getting a bit expensive. It probably would be a good idea to buy those Unimogs at some point. They're costing us quite a bit of money now. So we're a bit short on cash. Let's have a look at our field situation here. That's not a barley field anymore. Let's rename that to being grass. And we want to be there. Okay, so we have nothing ready to harvest, which is fine. Yeah, we'll sort the bank manager out actually first up, because there will be trees to sell. Yeah, there's a heap of trees to sell. Let's just turn you around. There's also a heap of honey there by the looks. Well, we've always had more important things to buy, Jason. There we go. So we've been a little more cash strapped. We haven't had the good fortune of the Putneys necessarily. What's happening over here? There's an aloe. Is the aloe full, is it? Yeah. No. There's room in there for that aloe. Right, you're filling up there. Your angle is not correct. Good. So it hasn't, it's just been expensive more so than a major problem. It's not the cheapest way to do it, but we've always got to a point where there's been the next priority, which is higher than buying these Unimogs. So Never mind. Just cut through the roundabout there. This row of pallet of trees will take us back well into the positive. I don't think we've got lease to own. Oh, maybe we have. I forget. Let's have a look. No. No lease to own on here. Forklifts cost next to nothing. So there's a few things that are racking up. Now that we just get the equipment sorted for the olives, and then we can start converting our leased equipment to owned. It's also interesting to note that one of the reasons that all of that stuff's still leased is nothing appropriate's come up in the sales to drive replacement of it either. So that's the other reason why they haven't been replaced. Yeah, well, that's interesting in itself, because even though they get used fairly extensively, as you can see, they're not in dire need of maintenance either. So they've kind of racked up maintenance fairly slowly. Oops, didn't do that very well. What's that, Hodge one? Not something I generally expect to hear in my streams, but oh dear. That's almost spooky. There's three of you. Okay, the bank manager is sated. You can go back to potted tree load. And let's go up to the olive grove. Can I get there? That won't let me jump there. Let's jump to there. Bit of fence hiding around there. What's it look like the olive grove actually requires? There's grass over here that we can cut. It doesn't need rolling, that much I'm sure of. Do I even need to weed these? Maybe I don't actually need to do anything on them at all. I forget. There's no need to worry about. We have weeds in the corn, which we need to deal with. Yeah, that was what I was expecting, but I wonder if there was very much a situation where the first year when you planted them, for some reason, you didn't have to do the full cycle of activities. So the mulching trigger didn't sort of happen until it's the first crop of them. Yes, they've only just gone in. Let's have a look. And I've got a sneaking suspicion the first time round, the game doesn't actually plant them properly. And so it doesn't trigger the cycle until you complete the first harvest. Where are we here? Yes. Yeah, I know what the equipment is. Crops overview. There we go. Plant and rows, yes. So we've done that. Again, that you need to mulch, cultivate, and fertilize. But see, it doesn't. Well, let's assume that we do. So to mulch, we need a mulcher. And have I got them on here? Is going to be the... I've done a lot more grapes than I have olives, but I'm still thinking that it's a precision farming thing. It screws it up. Like they really didn't deal with it at all. What am I looking for? Mulches. Yeah. Huh. 3 meters too wide. I don't have the gear in here anyway. That's all the grape stuff. We might need to jump out and 4.9 is too wide. Looks like I didn't pick a bunch of the mods that cultivator's the wrong sort. What's really odd? Oh, there's the disco vines. you 4 meters is too wide. 3 meters is too wide. I don't think I can even, well, it's telling me that nitrogen is perfect as well, so I'm not sure I even need to fertilize, which is just really weird. The nitrogen there is showing as low. It's bizarre, although it's showing as perfect. I think what we're going to do is just leave them until the first harvest, because I'm not convinced doing anything will make actually any difference whatsoever. And that way, next time I can grab the implements that, because I want to try a range of implements. The other thing we will need is a tractor that'll fit. Yes. Yeah, that's true. We need a tractor that's going to fit up there. That Valtra will be too big. And none of those other pieces of equipment. That's a very cheap disco. Okay. The tractor that I generally favour for vine work is this one. I know I don't need a specialty. I'm quite a big fan of the G series. As long as you've got enough turning room, it's versatile enough and powerful enough. And the extra horsepower is useful. You can often put 2 implements on it, which gives you a single pass. So it was the best tractor I found. The specialty ones tend to be under horsepower. The Antonio Carrera, the Landini is terrific. That's good fun. I haven't used the Fent very much, and the Antonio Carrera stuff is a waste of time. It doesn't have the horsepower or traction for anything other than absolutely dead flat. Right. Well, we'll leave those for the moment. Where did I get to? Oh, my vehicle stuck in the middle of... As I parked partially on the... And whilst this tractor might fit through between the vines, its agility would be a nightmare just turning all the time, so we won't worry about him. Now what's happening with our... I need a little bit more food. And there is a bit of milk. So why don't we just send you across and do a milk sale. So you can go across to the dairy. I haven't collected you on, did I? Let's try that again. Strange circuit, but I can live with it. We will check the pigs shortly. Let's get you. Let's bring you out of there. Put the aloe vera on. All the aloe plants. It looks like bamboo's first. Line you up. I didn't do that very well. That's better. Let's send you back and sell some trees. So let's go to there. Ah, come on. Unload in there. We'll turn you off for later. Let's have a look at the animal situation. Oop. So over there we have 3 months old and 6 months old, and they're out of food again. Just a little bit out of concentrate. Cows are about to run out. Extension yard also about to run out, but not 17 that need to go across, so we should take them across. And they're not old enough yet, but they are out of food. Good. Ah, not the vehicle I want. Can run you with a load. 7 month old, select. Are there 3 others? No. So we'll just send you across like so to the I shouldn't have done that. to rescue you before you drive across the crop. You're heading there. You're in there. I think the priority is to do a load of pig food. And then we'll come and do the weeding. No worries, Jason. Thanks for dropping by. Have a good week, mate. Let's just get you lined up. Take a pig food, load you up. Yeah, how much do we want to put? The main pigsty needs plenty. So what we'll do is we'll put a full load into the main pigsty and then we'll split a load between the other two. That'll work well. Yeah, so we can top up the other two feed groups in there shortly. The extension yard, yeah, it does. And the fattening yard, it definitely does, right. So we'll put half in it each. And we ran out of money. Which isn't too much of a drama because we should have plenty of meat to sell. That'll be helpful there, but because we're down at -$2, we'll have to drive over ourselves. I should have mentioned before, so I'm starting to look around for what's the next map and challenge. I want to do I want to stream a challenge series, so in the same sort of vein as people like Rusty Money Gaming and Josh do. So I'm thinking that we'll replace this stream on Newlands with something along those sort of lines. So I'm looking around for what's the map and the challenge. What should it be? So anybody that's picking up the stream, feel free to make a note in the comments if you've got suggestions. I'm leaning towards, in terms of the challenge, I'm leaning towards the map maker intended challenge that Josh from Gaming Joy talks a lot about. Now, we can't send you back, but what we can do is turn you around. Take you off there. Jump out. Empty those out. Hey, Rusty. Just dropping some pigs off to the slaughterhouse. And I was just saying, Rusty, I'm starting to cast around for a new challenge to replace what we've been doing here on Newlands. So I'm thinking a challenge series. So I need a map and a challenge. Now, what have we got here? We've got lamb in there. And oh dear. Well, at least you've been at work, so it doesn't feel quite so bad to be paying bills. Yeah, we've got lamb coming out slowly, so we probably want to be selling the lamb. What's that? That's gelatin. Okay, let's go and empty one of those. The lamb will, from memory, pay pretty well, so even though it's not a full pallet, let's go and tackle that. Judgment, judgment, judgment. And I think I'm leaning towards, in terms of challenge, the idea of the author intended challenge, which is to play a map the way a map maker has intended it to be played, you know, using their starting equipment, very few mods. I can't remember all of the detailed rules. I'd have to go and grab those from Gaming Joy. They're probably written up somewhere on Rusty's Discord, to be honest. But that's the challenge I'm leaning towards, and then it's a matter of, well, what's the map that would make for an interesting streaming series in that mode. Let's back you in there, around the corner. That's a bit better. Take you back. Well, that's exactly how I ended up on here, Rusty. So I have two criteria for maps as a general rule. The most important is that I feel some sort of chemistry, so some sort of affinity or attachment, something about the map speaks to me, because that's what makes it fun, and it, you know, prompts a bit of a backstory, because I like to have the way I like to play is with the backstory. Well, what do I got here? Pork. Okay. So let's get some pork on your fork. Spawn area is just not quite high enough. Loading off the trailer onto here. Could do to put a just a little platform out here, like a concrete stand. You can see they don't have to lift very far. Just a small block would do it. And then my second criteria is to be a bit different to what others are doing. I figure that that's important, if for no other reason than I don't have a viewer audience that's big enough to command a change. Yeah, I like I like having an animal aspect. I certainly would love for that. Feels like we should have more than 1,500 litres, given how many pallets we mess with, but I like the giants to add a little bit more in the animal dimensions than we've got, but I also like experimenting with different mods, so we do a bit more of that, or we are doing a bit more of that on the Oaks. We've had a few, so the equipment that I use on this map, there's a lot of, almost every portrait item is deliberately chosen so that, you know, we just makes it a little bit different. Fits with the backstory of the location and our main man here helping his family out. So we will drop this guy off. You over there. And then pop you on and go and sell the gelatin. Ah. It's a little bit more problematic than I wanted. Now we've got some cash back in the bank. We can send the animal trailer back. And do a bit low of brewer's grain to all of the pig pens. I'm thinking I'd quite like to do an American map, or I haven't streamed an American map. I've obviously got the Griffin, Indiana video series. I was going to look a little bit more closely at the East Vine, New Jersey map. That looks promising. I probably got a bit of a soft spot for 4X maps too. I find the size works really well. It's not, and for what kind of tends to run in my head for an American map, then that suits the bigger equipment too. So a map like Middleburg would be ideal. Something along, if there's something out or coming out. I had a look at UMRV and just couldn't get my head into it. Just didn't work for me, that map. Where do I want to park you? Probably just get you out of the way a bit. Let's do it this way. It's the wrong side to load, but just keep you off the road. I can send you back to Main Yard Park. Send you to the main pigsty. And just get you out to Potted Tree Load. Why are you doing that? What on earth possessed you to drive out that way? You've done that 50 times before driving out of there. And now you're coming back in. Wow. I have no idea what you were thinking, auto drive. Right. Next. Don't need you. There should be milk to empty somewhere here. That's the one we want. So, garden center. Milk tank park. We want. You're on your way. You're getting close. Other guy will be here in a minute. Our crops don't need any fertilizer. Oh, the corn might need it. In addition to weeding, it definitely needs some fertilizer. Right. Let's just stop you. Do this first. Bit of brewer's grain. We'll just get the brewer's grain in these two. So if you're not familiar with Maize Plus, this is a great, the animal food overview is a great mod that really helps just give you a list, and what it tells us is that protein food has these items. And in our particular case, we're growing canola, but it's not ready yet, so we'll buy the brewer's grain, which is what we've done here. I'm looking for suggestions, Rusty. I don't have any maps in mind. I was watching Gaming Joy the other day, and he did a little poll which kind of helped him with his inputs, and I thought that was a good idea, but I don't have anything particularly in mind at this stage, and I was just curious what other people were looking at and watching. I'm not plugged into the loop on map makers that are working on US maps. For example, I'm aware that Saxthorpe is with ModHub at the minute because I've got a connection to the farms in Briscoe, but I don't have any similar insight. I'm not really active on social media, so I don't kind of know what's going on in the US map making fraternity. It's also, in a practical sense, not urgent because I'm taking a few weeks off in September, and so the time to start a new activity will be October. Yes, I can do a poll, and that's my intention. But I was quite keen to do that before I go, because I'm worried that because I'll be off for a few weeks, YouTube will forget all about me and I won't actually get anything from a poll if I wait till I get back. So I sort of like the idea of having something broadly lined up, and it kind of fits with your comment about a less popular map is that I can also do it that way, and it's not so time critical as to when it starts. It also means while I'm traveling, I can have a bit of a think of, you know, ideas and sort of storyline that I like to have for the playthrough. There's that one. Let's turn around and send you back. G'day, Bruce Salter. How are you? Welcome along. Thank you very much for dropping in and saying hi. I am just in the process of finishing up. Rusty has been chatting to me. Hodge1 may or may not still be there in the background, although he was there pretty much from the beginning, so he might have found other things that he needs to take care of. And the two Aussie Jasons were here but have had to toddle off to work, I think. Now, let's send you to Feed, Fill, Fattening Yard. That's where you need to go. And that's the vehicle I want. Let's park that trailer out of the way. Jason's getting interrupted. That happens. I'm going to have to go in a second myself, actually. I just wanted to see if we've got fertilizer in the spreader. Because if we have, we can throw some on the corn. And there is. Excellent. Is there a difference between base game TMR and Maize plus TMR? There can be. So let me just come over here. So the simplest way to describe it is the Maize Plus gives you lots more options. The biggest thing Maize Plus does is create options. So the way to think about it, and you can see the recipe there. Oh, you've got to be on the back. That's why you're parked there. So what they've tried to do with Maize Plus, as I understand it, is set it up to take account of the really wide range of feeding practices that exist around the world. And as a result, when you first look at it, so you look at that recipe that's on the bottom of the screen there, I'll try and get it where it's easier to read, and it blows your mind. But the thing to understand is if you look down the minimum column, sorry I can't get the contrast to help much, you'll see that there's only 2 food groups that have minimums, and then the rest are all zeros. So what that allows you to do is you can make a food mix with a lot more flexibility than you can in the base game TMR, and you can make it to whatever your experience or your desire is. So for example, the feed mix we feed our cows here is 20% grass silage, 20% maize silage or thereabouts, straw, hay and molasses, and that's just what I put in the mix. If that's too much for you, so if that's more complicated than you want to play, the other thing that Maize Plus allows you to do, hook on the mixer wagon, you can see you get an option to change the recipe. So if I hit Y, I can go to is it not changing the recipe? It's supposed to change the recipe. And it's just turning the recipe on and off for some reason. There we go. It's Shift Y. So there's a recipe for beef cattle, young stock. So they've got a variety of different recipes that you can scroll through. Including the standard one. So you don't have to use a complicated recipe, you can just use a but what I like is the realistic one, which is what we then allows me to put molasses, which we get from the food plant. And then on top of that, the main differences are the different types of silage. So you know, grass silage is made from grass, obviously, but there are 4 different grass types that you've got to take into account. And maize silage is made from corn chaff, which is what we've got sitting in here. So I hope that's a helpful summary. The bottom line is, if you want to give it a go, just try, and as I said, try and start simple and just till you get your head around it. Black River. Okay, I will have a look at Black River, Jason. Let's get some fertilizer spread on here. I am not familiar with Black River, so okay, doing dairy for the first time on Maize Plus is probably taking on a fairly large challenge. The other thing that I would strongly recommend with Maize Plus is that if you're on PC, you grab this mod, which is the Animal Food Overview. And because Maize Plus introduces the 4 food groups for cows, it's really helpful to know which items contribute to which food group. And because otherwise the complexity of the options really gets confusing, and this to me is an indispensable mod for playing with Maize Plus. I refer to it, I mean, we've been doing 50 episodes on here and I refer to the pigs one all the time. Okay. Right. It does jog my memory, Rusty. Thank you. So other than watch you play bits of it, it's one of those where I haven't thought about playing it myself. So I will have to have a different sort of a look at it. Because the series that I've popped into a couple of times the last couple of weeks is the one you're doing the square by square on Matana's map, isn't it? And we really need to get rid of the weeds off here. For animal extension, do you need a... Yeah, unfortunately, I need someone else to put something in the chat. The key word in your sentence is right under this stupid emoji button that's popped up in my chat stream. And so I can't see what you've asked. Do you need something? So the animal extension mod, I think I adjusted reproduction. Do you need a bull? Not that I'm aware of. Thank you. That worked a treat. I've got to figure out. It's something that OBS has done. It's OBS's chat window. And why did that stop? That was really weird. So we don't have a bull, is the short answer. I don't know. In fact, we don't have young animals. Why is this misbehaving? Why is it not giving me... It's really odd. Ah, that's why, because we haven't scanned that part of the field. Or the scanning's outdated. Right, I'll need to fix that too. I was wondering why the spreader turned off. Hello. That's a weird bug. I've now lost precision farming altogether. Okay. I have never experienced that before. No. I can't turn on the spreader. So it's actually... Let's try connecting up again, see if it reinitializes. No. So even though I'm in a part of the field... Oh, I'm out of fertilizer now. Right. That would be part of the reason. Let's go and solve that. Goodness me. You get distracted by one thing and it sneaks up and whacks you with the back of something else. Let's go and put some more fertilizer. And the next thing we'll find is that our fertilizer production is out of fertilizer. Questions like that are always welcome, Bruce. Well, in fact, questions in general are always welcome, but ones that relate to what we're doing, that's kind of the purpose. Some of this stuff is really hard to figure out on your own. I discovered it's one of the reasons that I started streaming, because if I can't solve it, this really is misbehaving. Is there any fertilizer there? Yes, there is. So there we go. Let's just see if we can finish off the bit we were doing. And now it looks like, because we've got fertilizer in, precision farming has woken back up. So we'll get this spread on here. And then might be the end of proceedings for today, I suspect. That's looking a much better shade of green. That'd be really helpful, Rusty. Thank you. Also, if you have a brainwave that there's a particular challenge that is particularly well suited to a map, make that connection as well, because it's the combination of a new map and a challenge that I like. So, you know, that's what's creating the interest on the little series I'm doing on the valley. And so same idea that I want to bring into a stream, which is very much what you and Gaming Joy and a few others do. So I'm just looking to tread an already blazed path. Right, well, there is the fertilizer spread. I think that's where we might wrap it for today. Well, I can certainly recommend throwing subs at Rusty Money Gaming. He does some interesting stuff, and particularly, Jason, if you're on console, that's the world he plays. So he has some good ideas, and he gets some fun folks along in his streams as well. But I think that's where we'll leave it for today, folks. I'll come and sample the rest of this field a bit later on, and we'll pick it up here next week. Thank you very much, everyone, for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Stay safe, be well, and we'll catch you next time. I'll be back on Thursday evening for the UK, US, and Friday morning for Oz. And we'll see you then. Bye for now.